Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the NOTA Studios Bruce Richman action figure. This is a third-party, unauthorized, unlicensed version of the Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne from the DC Cinematic Universe. I imagine it's going to be a smaller figure, about 6 inches, probably similar to Patriot Studios or Felix Toys. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see, Bruce Richman, sort of an outlet of Ben Affleck's face. One side, Bruce Richman, other side, same thing. Back, a few warnings. Packaging pretty basic. There's absolutely no barcode on this thing. So no further ado, let's open it up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with 10 alternate hands, totaling 12 interchangeable hands, a batarang, a stack of money, and then a money gun. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Bruce Wayne for the DC Cinematic Universe, played by Ben Affleck. The likeness is absolutely fantastic. It could be from Batman vs Superman or from Justice League. He's in his regular, sort of wealthy looking suit. Bruce Wayne in his business attire, and I love it. This is version B. I'm not sure if there are any differences besides the fact that this one has a magnet in his jacket to help it stay shut. I thought that was the better of the two options. Now this is a third-party, unauthorized action figure release. That means it is not officially licensed by Warner Brothers. It's very expensive. It's made by NOTA Studios. I've also seen them referred to as boring toys. I don't really know the best place to get these guys. Once I found out about him, I really wanted to get one. I got one on eBay. If anyone knows a good place to get these guys for cheaper, please drop me a line in the comments below. I would definitely appreciate that. I've seen figures like this in the 12-inch 1/6 scale, but I personally collected 6 and 7-inch figures. So finding out there's a Bruce Wayne like this with great likeness, soft goods, in the 1/12 scale, I had to check him out, and here he is. So starting with his face, like I said, I think the likeness is absolutely fantastic. The hair, the different shading on the skin, a little bit of beard shadow there, his chin, it all screams Ben Affleck and looks great. So he's got this jacket on the outside. Like I said, there's a magnet inside of here, helps it stay shut. Very nice feature. Once you open it, you can see his suit. He's got a vest, white shirt. I mean, the detail's exquisite. The tie, regular slacks, dress shoes. Now it looks like you're going to be able to take the jacket off and probably the vest off as well. So far, it looks fantastic. It's almost like a Barbie doll shrunken down with way better detail. And just a closer look at his face or head sculpt. The likeness is spot on. I find these third-party unauthorized figures, they put a lot of passion into their work, and the quality is just excellent. I don't really understand how they get away with this. I mean, you would think Ben Affleck's lawyers would be able to sue them, or Warner Brothers, or whoever. Don't really understand how it works. I am really curious to learn. Now, I'm familiar with NOTA Studios now. I've heard of Patriot Studios, Felix Toys, Mixmax. What other third-party stuff's out there? I'd be really curious. Now, part of the humor and charm of this third-party unauthorized figure is the fact that it's not officially licensed by Warner Brothers. It can't say Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, or Batman anywhere on the package. So, it's called Bruce Richman. It's supposed to be an action figure of a generic rich man who happens to look exactly like Ben Affleck and comes with a batarang. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable and interchangeable parts detached. Before we dig into the accessories, let's talk about his head. Now, one of the first things I thought about when I saw this Ben Affleck head is how would it look onto a Mezco Ben Affleck Batman figure. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a possibility. The head comes off in a very weird fashion. It's not going to head swap a traditional way. So if that's something you wanted to do with this guy, you might put that out of your head. No pun intended. Now let's take a look at his accessories. And let's start off with his hands. Bruce Wayne here has got a total of 12 different hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his next pair of hands. These are his gripping hands with a smaller grip. And then his next pair of hands. These would look pretty good relaxed at the sides, and they look like they could also potentially hold something. Then we have these larger gripping hands. They could probably hold something really big. Look like there's some grabbing or even choking hands. And he has these larger open hands, but not quite as large as the last ones. And here's his final pair of hands. His left hand has a index finger pointing, and then his right hand is completely flat. Businessman pointing at somebody, rich man slapping somebody. Now let's look at his clothes. There are 3 different display options for this figure. One here with just his white shirt tie on. Then you put his vest on top of that, and I think that's my preferred look. That would be Bruce Wayne in the office. And he also has his coat to go on top of that. Here's Bruce Wayne with just the white shirt on. My least favorite of the 3 looks. Here he is with the vest on. Like I said, this is my preferred look. It just sort of screams Ben Affleck from the DC Cinematic Universe. And of course, here he is with his coat on. Now little magnets inside there, they're not very strong, but it really helps keep it a stiff and crisp look to it. I'm actually very impressed how easy it is to remove his clothing. I mean, it's not that easy. You gotta put his arms backwards, take his hands off, twist them around. But if you're very slow and careful, it all comes off very nicely. It's not very wrinkled. I was very concerned how it would look after I took it off the first time. 2 thumbs up. And even though I said the vest look is my preferred look, he does look the best with the coat on. Now let's take a look at his stack of money. I can put this to a ton of uses in my action figure world. It's a bundle here, and each one, I believe, is an individually printed piece of money. I'm not going to take them all out, but I'm going to take one out just to see. I really want to keep this thing bundled up, so I was very careful. I pulled a couple out from the middle. Actual money. It looks really cool. I can find so many uses for this. Then we have his money gun. At first glance, I thought it was a megaphone. Little gun, I'm rich. I guess you can shoot money out the front there. Here's Bruce Wayne holding the money gun. I'm rich. Now let's look at his batarang. It's that familiar DC Cinematic Universe batarang. Feels like it's metal. Very shiny. It's got that line on it. Looks good, but I have a million of these batarangs at this point. Here's Bruce Wayne holding and getting ready to throw his batarang. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. And I was worried he was going to be super small, as most of these third-party unauthorized overseas imports are. From bottom to top of his head, he's standing at 6.5 inches tall, bigger than I expected, and that is fantastic. That's going to translate to about 16.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up that far, down that far, tilt his head both sides, pretty much anything you want. I thought it was very odd with that weird style articulation, but it does a whole hell of a lot. Shoulders goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees, obstructed by the shirt here. Up, down, around, once again obstructed by the shirt. He's got bicep cut here. Double jointed elbows that go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged. Torso here, some kind of a ball joint in the waist for sure. Rotate around, forward and back. Feels like he has more articulation here. There's definitely a crunch. Goes down quite a bit. This guy is very well articulated. Very nicely done. Legs only go about this far. They would go further, but the pants forward can sit down nicely. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees all the way back. Then his ankle, forward and back a little bit. Rotate, tilt, rock just a little bit. Very impressive articulation on this guy. Everything you'd ever want. Here's this Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne taking his rightful place in my Wayne Enterprises Bruce Wayne office setup. A closer look at him at his desk. Here's Bruce Wayne in front of the Batmobile throwing a batarang. Here's Bruce Wayne in his garage trying to decide which fancy car to take today. He's set on this car. Don't forget his superpower. He's rich. Here's this Ben Affleck figure in front of some diorama pieces from the mall from Mallrats. This is the shop that he owned in that film. Fashionable male. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures. I don't have any other figures from NOTA Studios, but I do have this Bat Armory. I just found out about this Ben Affleck figure and this Bat Armory in the 1/12 scale, and I had to have them. What else have you guys not told me is out there? I've been wanting a Bat Armory like this for years. This is based off The Dark Knight Rises. It opens, revealing the bat suit and about a billion different bat gadgets. It even has functioning lights, and all the accessories come out. I mean, my god, this thing is amazing. And I know it's not the right bat suit, but my god, this is absolutely awesome. One of the first figures I wanted to compare him to when I got this guy was the Mafex Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne. The Mafex Bruce Wayne is very nice, but is inferior in every possible way to this NOTA Studios version, unless you really don't like cloth goods. I love the fact that this guy is even a little bit bigger. It's going to fit in with more of my action figures. Really, really enjoying this figure. The other figure I really wanted to check him out next to is the Mezco Affleck. This is a fantastic Mezco and fantastic Batman figure, and these guys scale up great next to each other. Here he is, next to the Mafex Justice League Batman. Then, with the SH Figure Arts version, now let's check him out, next to some other third-party unauthorized figures, and some other cloth soft goods figures. Here's this NOTA Studios Bruce Wayne, next to the Felix Toys Joaquin Phoenix the Joker, another unauthorized figure, another well-done figure, a little bit smaller though. Then, with the Patriot Studios, Arthur Fleck. Here he is, next to several different Mezco Batman figures. Mezco is arguably the best as far as popularity and quality in the 1/12 scale cloth soft goods action figures. And here, next to several different Mezco Batman villains. Do you remember when he fought with the KG Beast in Batman vs Superman? Well, if you don't remember, it's a thing. And now, next to some Soap Studios Batman figures. Soap Studios is a huge step below Mezco. I'm not a fan. Now let's check him out, next to all my other Ben Affleck figures. Here he is, with the SH Figure Arts Justice League Ben Affleck Batman. Then, next to all of my Mafex Ben Affleck figures. And here, with some Mattel basic Ben Affleck Batman figures. Then, next to my Mattel DC Multiverse Ben Affleck Batman figures. And here are all the Mezco 1/12 Collective Ben Affleck Batman figures. Then, with the McFarlane DC Multiverse Ben Affleck Batman figures. And finally, next to a DC Direct Premium Film Series Ben Affleck as the Armored Batman. Now let's check him out, next to all the different Bruce Wayne figures that I have, most of which are customs or head swaps. Here he is, with a Mattel Movie Master style Dark Knight Bruce Wayne. And here are all the Mafex style Bruce Wayne figures that I have. These are all on Mafex bodies, and have heads from different various Bruce Wayne figures. Then, with my Mattel DC Universe Classics style Bruce Wayne figures, these are all various Bruce Wayne heads on Clark Kent bodies. I've actually even got a couple more heads that I'd love to put on if I can find some more Clark Kent bodies. And now, with some Bruce Wayne figures on wrestling bodies, I got the biggest bruiser type wrestler figure I could find, and put some Bruce Wayne heads on there. The three on the left are Ben Affleck unmasked Batman Bruce Wayne heads. And on the right, we have a couple of old Bruce Waynes, Dark Knight Returns style, and an Arkham City Bruce Wayne. Those are all really big bruiser versions of Bruce Wayne out there. And here, next to the DC Direct Arkham City Bruce Wayne, and here are absolutely all of my Bruce Wayne figures in civilian attire. I am a sucker for heroes and villains out of their costumes. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since this guy is about 6.5 inches tall, he's around the middle height of what I collect. I collect 6 and 7 inch scale action figures. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger. Here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mezco 1/12 Collective figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. Then, with some Mattel WWE wrestlers, and here he is, next to some NECA figures, then with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, and here with some McFarlane toys, and now next to some DST or Diamond Select toys, and finally next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. Overall, I would say this is an absolutely fantastic figure. His accessories, the hands are pretty cool. The money is fantastic, the battering's nice. The money gun doesn't really do much for me. This guy's likeness is excellent. Give that thing a 10 out of 10. It looks just like him. The clothes execution is great. Come off, they go back on, they look straight, they're very tight and snug. His articulation is superb. It's a little bit limited by the clothing, but he can do everything you'd ever want him to do. Also the scale, I'm very fond of it. Most of these things are really, really small on the 6-inch scale. This guy is medium. Really happy about that. If I were to rate this guy overall, I think I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I am just enjoying the hell out of this guy. Very pleased I found some pictures of this guy online. Very pleased I tracked him down. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is D Hunter. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comments section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.